Okay, slightly trickier example here, guys. So this one, we have got a similar thing to what we did last time, only we have got a factor of 2 that we're going to take outside the brackets this time. So p is going to become 2. That's something we can say straight away. The problem here is we've got two odd numbers, so they're not going to have a factor of 2 in common, so we're going to have to deal with some fractions, okay? So we're going to start off in exactly the same way. Take the 2 outside the bracket, x squared minus, now if I have taken 2 outside the bracket, I've essentially divided this by 2, so that means I need to divide this by 2 as well. So I'm going to have 5 over 2 x, and the same for the last term, divide by 2, we're going to have negative a half, okay, because if I then expand this again, I need to be able to get back to this. So by multiplying each of these by 2, I would end up back here. Okay, so it looks a little bit more scary because we've got fractions. However, doesn't have to be at all. Okay, so let's just approach it bit by bit, and we will get through it, I'm sure. So next step, we're going to keep that 2 outside, and we're going in to complete the square with this bit here, which is in the form of the quadratic. Okay, just follow the same steps. We're going to have x inside the brackets minus a half of that there. So okay, half of 5 over 2 is going to be 5 over 4. Okay, because that is the same as multiplying 5 over 2, whoops, dropped my pen, 5 over 2 by a half, okay, which is there where we get 5 over 4, okay, and then obviously all squared, and the next bit we have to do is take into account, well, if we expanded this bracket, I would end up with 5 over 4 squared. Again, feels pretty scary, but actually we can just square the top number, which we can do, 25, and square the bottom number, which we can also do, and 16. Okay, so we get negative 25 over 16. So that's dealt with the first bit. Then we need to append this bit onto the end, so minus a half. Okay, now we know we're going to have to simplify this in a second, so we're going to need a common denominator, so a half is equal to 8 over 16. Okay, so simplifying, we get 2 open bracket x minus 5 over 4 all squared, and then we've got 25 over 16 minus 8 over 16. So minus 25 minus 8 gives us minus 33 over 16. Okay, and that could be where we leave it had we been given a similar format to what we were given before. However, this has changed very slightly. Before, we had a second set of brackets in here, okay? Now they've taken out one of those brackets, which means that this part of our completed square form is going to stay as it is, and we're going to lose these brackets here. But by losing those, we're going to multiply all of this bracket by 2 and all of this by 2 as well. Okay, so that is going to give us 2 open bracket x minus 5 over 4 all squared. And then we need to do minus 33 over 16 multiplied by 2. Okay, now I like to think of it as 2 over 1. We just multiply the top 2 values and the bottom 2 values, so we end up with 66 over 16. Now, I know for a fact that I can simplify that by making it 33 over 8. I forgot my negatives there, sorry. Okay, and I think that's probably as far as I can go. So that's what I'm going to put on the end, minus 33 over 8. Now it's in the form that we've been asked for, so I'm going to write that p is equal to 2, as we expected from the start. Q is equal to, okay, we've got a positive here, and there's a negative here, so Q must be equal to negative 5/4. And R, again, we've got a positive here and a negative here, so that must be equal to negative 33/8. And we are done. Any questions about these guys, please let me know, email me, or if you've got any other questions you want to go through, more than happy to. All right, take care.